All right, welcome to the Voncast show. Today, got a recurring guest, Metaphaurus. Man, how's it going, bro?
Chilling, bro. Thanks for having me on the show again.
No problem. So last time we spoke, you were at the, what was the tournament called?
World Underground.
Was it last year too, World Underground?
Yeah. World
Okay.
Underground last year, except last year was in Los Angeles, this year was in New York.
Okay. So for those of y'all don't know, Metaphaurus is a rapper. He
Yes, sir.
specializes in more technical rap.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I guess like Tech Nine, that kind of in that realm. Tech Nine,
Multi-syllabic rhymes.
multi-syllabic.
Aggressive delivery.
Your boy's that little pump shit. Hey, likes to lean though. Little emo. Hey, I say shooting, free throws. All right. Stop fucking around. Okay, so so a brief intro of who you are and what you do, man.
Well, like you said, my name is Metaphaurus. I am a Korean American rapper. I've been rapping for about 7 years now, 2 years seriously. And I just love doing this shit because I love hip hop. I grew up listening to hip hop. I actually learned how to rap myself just listening to everybody else rhyme. You know what I'm saying? There was no YouTube tutorial. There was no fucking book to teach you how to fucking MC. Like, I just did this shit naturally. And now I'm trying to get it so that it could take me places.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Damn, I remember too. There was no YouTube for me. There was the forums.
Yeah.
There was the forums.
Back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Bro.
Oh, I remember that shit. I remember the only Asian rapper I saw was fucking Jin. I'm like, oh my god, it's crazy.
Jin the OG, man.
Yeah. So, World Underground. You were at that tournament. What is that tournament exactly?
Well, World Underground is a tournament that this organization called Team Backpack hosts.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, I think Team Backpack actually split into two. Like, they're Team Backpack and World Underground itself now. Like, they're actually called World Underground. I don't know the details, but like, they're affiliated with Team Backpack and everything. They've had, tons of like famous artists come out, Ghostface, Joel Ortiz, like Hobson, I think Hobson, somebody affiliated with Hobson, but it's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Just like, it's a platform for underground artists who are just trying to come up, and they do a lot for, the artists coming out. Like, I got invited out to the tournament, they provide a platform for us to, share our music. So it's hella dope what they do over there at World Underground, yeah.
All right. So how does one get picked to be in the World Underground tournament? Because realistically, there's so many fucking rappers. So many. There's so many rappers, especially alone in LA. Alone is saturated.
Right.
What are the qualifications? Like, how does one get on?
Qualifications. Well, this is how the process went. Like, they had an audition process that was held online.
Okay.
All you had to do was spit 16 over a beat, and they would judge based on the videos. I think there were like 1,000 entries or something.
Yeah, damn.
Yeah, they don't give you a criteria. They just say spit a hot 16, and if we think you dope, then you deserve to come out to New York and shit. You feel me? But I was one of the lucky ones that got picked, and I just I don't know exactly why, but I gotta, if it's anything I put my finger on, it's gotta be originality, dope rhyme schemes.
Yeah.
A good delivery, and the basic shit that comes with like good rapping. You feel me?
That sounds so much easier said than done.
Yeah.
But, so out of the thousands of entries, I'm sure everyone, except for me, entered. I was like, I ain't fucking with that shit. Out of all the people that entered, how many were there in New York?
In New York, there were around 60.
60.
I remember some people couldn't get into the venue actually, just because they didn't have like proper ID or something.
Oh,
shit. They couldn't make it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it was around 60.
60, you get thousands of entries. You're one of the 60. That says something, man.
Yeah,
That's a lot. That's a lot. I'm bad at math, but I don't know, 1,000 divided by 60 or 60 divided by 1,000.
I haven't done that math either,
but fuck with the math, bro. That's really good, man. So, spitting bars and everything, was it just one entry or was it multiple entries? Because I remember your last tournament, you had to do one every week.
Right. For 22 weeks straight, we had to do like one every single week. But this week, or this year, was just one single entry.
Would you have rather done the 22-week process or just one?
Well, I feel like there's good things about both. I feel like the 22 weeks, like submitting entries every single week, gets the judges can get a better idea of who the MC is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because in that 22 weeks, I wasn't spitting the same shit every
Yeah.
single week. You know what I mean? You get a better picture of how well-rounded the MC is when it comes to subjectivity,
Yeah.
different delivery, different kinds of bars.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the way they did it this year. Just keep it short and simple and really hone down to like who is the hottest out of
Yeah.
like the vids. I mean, because it really pushes people to make that vid like perfect.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, like, damn, 16 bars to be judged. That's tough. I mean,
Yeah.
was it something you picked out of your archives, or you made this like?
I mean, it was actually a verse I wrote while I was lifting. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, all my verses I just write while I'm driving. That's like I know that's so bad, but
Wait, you write while you're driving?
Yeah. Like when I brainstorm a lot when it comes to driving people
Okay.
around, and then when it comes to like red lights or stop signs, or like
Uh-huh.
if I think of some really hot shit, like I just have to pull over and write it down in my phone. You feel me? That's how I usually go about my process.
Okay. Yeah, I say like I think of stuff like it's crazy. I think of a lot of things when I'm not sitting down with a pen, pad in hand, or like my phone.
It's weird, like how the psychology works. I actually heard that that's a thing. Like you're most creative when you're doing like another like monotonous activity,
Mhm.
such as like driving or like exercising. You know what I mean? I forgot what the term is called, but it's crazy how that shit
Yeah.
works. Yeah.
So, you were picked to be on this tournament. How did you prepare? I mean, what was the time span from, like, when was the, oh, congratulations, you're in New York. What was the time span between that, like a few months?
I think it was around June, and then the tournament was at the end of August. So it was about 3 months.
Oh, you had 3 months to prepare.
Yeah, 3 months to prepare. I mean, to prepare, I mean the same thing, man. I just spit in my car.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, 16s that I wrote and prepared. Like I wrote a bunch of 16s like just for the summer.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because I really wanted to put a lot more content out, and like those 16s that I wrote, I chose like the hottest ones. And I spit those to myself while I was in my car, like all the fucking time, to like random beats that I would put on shuffle.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I would just get like more prepared that way.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And they give out certain beats to spit to over email. So I was spitting over those.
So the beats that you listened to, the beats you spit on in the tournament, were you familiar with the beats?
In the tournament, the way that worked was the beats that they sent you in the email were for the third round.
Okay.
Yeah, the first round was like your own original song, and then the second round was supposed to be just any random boom bap beat that they picked, but they ended up doing trap and fucking boom bap, so that threw a whole bunch of contestants off. But like, I was prepared for that shit, so I was just like. But the third round is really where you were supposed to rap over those beats, and I didn't make it to the third round. Yeah.
Mm. So you participated in a similar tournament as this last year. What did you do different? Like, were you going in a different mindset, or was it just like, I'm just gonna do the same thing, but I'm gonna work twice as hard kind of thing?
I mean, last year was the first time I ever participated in a tournament.
Yeah.
Ever. So like, I was just anxious
Mhm.
the entire time. Like every day leading up to it was just anxiousness. But this year, since I knew what to expect, I was a lot more prepared. You know what I'm saying? Like I could get over my stage nerves a lot more easily. And throughout the year, I've been performing at like, small gigs here and there. So I've been slowly trying to get over my nerves, and I think that really shined this year, because this year the anxiety really holds you back from like breath control, from getting the delivery right, cracking your voice on stage, shit like that. So I feel like it came out a lot more clean, my performances this year, because last year I didn't really fuck with how it sounded, to be honest, on stage, even though a lot of people thought it was dope. I didn't like how I sounded.
Mm-hmm.
But when I rewatched the videos this year performing on stage, I felt a lot more natural.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? As to like the delivery.
Is there like a exercise you do for breath control? Do you like run?
Oh
or
yeah. I mean, before competitions, I like to do a lot of like running. A lot of cardio, because you really need that breath control, especially when you're spitting multi-syllabic, fast-paced, like aggressive raps on stage. Like I can't smoke for shit no more. Like I really want to, but like I can't, just for like the sake of my lungs. You feel me? Yeah, but like, there's exercises you could do in the gym, but also like breath exercises that you just, look up online, and I do a lot of those right before stage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, man. It's because I know with your style of rap, for those who aren't familiar, it's very fast-paced, very aggressive, and it's not this typical like rap flow. So yeah, I would understand. I would think there's some sort of exercise. I know Mac Leafly raps really fast.
Yeah.
He says he does like calisthenics when he's rapping.
What?
Yeah, like he like exercises while he raps to get his breath control and like his lung capacity up.
Oh yeah, I've done that before too. Like running up hills, I would spit until like I run out of breath, and that really helps your diaphragm. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's this thing. I mean, like you like when you rap, you can like rap with like your stomach or your diaphragm. It's like that. Like when you rap with your diaphragm, I think you get more out of it, right?
Yeah, it's totally different when you're breathing into your lungs than into your diaphragm because the delivery comes out so much more like clean. You know what I'm saying? But then the breath control is the hard part. Like it takes so fucking long because I grew up breathing into my lungs, but like you got to learn how to breathe into your stomach as an artist, and that's just it's getting used to that change. That's the hard part.
So you're at the tournament, man. Like, what's it like? You fly to New York. Have you been to New York before?
Yeah, once before, years ago.
Like, what was it like? Were you by yourself or?
I was with my girl.
Okay.
I mean,
it helps out.
Going to New York, man, that was just, it was so fitting because like New York is where hip hop was born. You know what I'm saying? So like I felt like, you know, I was meant to be there. You feel me? It's this kind of energy that hip hop just brings out in New York. You feel me? Especially at the venue, it was like, you know, we were waiting outside for to get into the club for the tournament to start, and people are just ciphering for hours. You know what I'm saying? In fucking 90-degree heat, towels on their heads, and fucking everybody's bouncing and shit. I fuck with that energy, man. Like all the fucking time. Like coming to these tournaments is so like raw because like everybody genuinely fucks with hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like when I'm walking around school, it's like, you know, people are always listening to the hottest new thing, but then like when you in this energy, like you feel like you belong in this shit. I mean, you're not just an MC, like you in the crowd. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's dope, man.
Yeah.
I love that energy too, man. That vibe, just like people ciphering. I've never like witnessed it too often, but to imagine myself to be in New York in that position, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it was wild, man. New York was a fucking movie, dude.
Yeah. So you got in, you got in the club and everything. Talk us through like the process. Like were the rounds done all in one day or was it separate, different days?
So the whole festival, it wasn't centered around the tournament. It was like there were multiple things going on. Like there was the tournament going on, and then there were the main acts going later, and they actually had like video game arcades like going on like upstairs. Like they had 2K going on, like and live art pieces and things like that. So it was like a whole like festival for hip hop. You know what I'm saying? The first day it was just like introductions and like checking in, and the second day is really when, you know, all the shit went down. You know what I'm saying? So it gave all of us like extra time to like prepare. You know what I'm saying? To like totally get the verses like cemented in our heads and like, you know, practicing in the streets and whatnot. So yeah, that's how that shit went down.
So the second day, what was the first choices you have for your song? Which one did you rap?
I did. No. I did our collab with Zuko.
Okay.
Zuko. Shout out to Zuko. We did Wavy.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean months before when I first figured out that I had to perform one of my own songs on stage, I was like, what is a song that like I come so fucking hard on that would get the club like vibing? And the only one I could really think of was a featured song, and that was Zuko's track. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I asked him for permission if I could spit my verse on stage, and he was cool with it. And yeah, he sent me the instrumental. So shout out to Zuko for that. Thank you.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
It's interesting. I find like when you're on features, you tend to work a lot harder. For me,
that's
just because like you're not competing against yourself, you're competing against someone else.
Exactly.
More than one person on a track, so you feel like I gotta come harder. Like, there's a lot of artists where I can say like I prefer their feature verses over their actual songs.
Yeah, there's a lot of artists like
that. But that's cool though too, you know. But that's dope, man. So you've performed that. And so the judges were cool. Like, how was the judging criteria? Was it like last year, where like was online voting partially too, or no?
No, it wasn't online. This was they actually had their own judges.
Okay, good.
This year it wasn't mostly. Oh, I mean there was a crowd participation also. Like they had blue and white glow sticks that they gave to everybody in the crowd. Yeah, in the crowd. Yeah, and then if you were feeling like I think I was white. like they make one MC white and the other one blue, and like if you're feeling blue more, like they had you raise the blue glow
That's
stick.
better.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
better than the noise.
Yeah, so they did half of that, and then like they left the rest up to the judges if there was like a tiebreaker.
Who are the judges?
The crowd. They were rappers affiliated with Team Backpack.
Okay.
Yeah, so who have actually been on the platform and like made songs with all their artists and whatnot.
Cause I saw the video. It says you get to rap in front of Ghostface.
That's what I'm saying. Like I thought we were gonna be able to rap in front of like the headliners. I didn't know exactly how that shit was gonna work, but like Ghostface and Raekwon were supposed to show up on the last day, but they never did.
Damn.
That's like I even checked on Twitter. Like Ghostface like said like he couldn't show up due to like uncontrollable circumstances.
Yeah.
So I was hella bummed out about that. I mean I kind of understand if some shit went down,
but it's like
I was like,
this is how I knew this tournament was Ghostface talking to you in that YouTube video.
that's what I'm saying. Like everybody was hyped to like get Wu-Tang to rap in front of Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And people were ciphering in the audience, but like Ghostface and Raekwon didn't show up. So like I was just like, you know, why cipher? You know what I'm saying? I've already done my shit here. Like,
I mean, I don't know, man. I think ciphering beforehand may like it could be a disadvantage just because like it fucks up your voice.
oh,
Like,
definitely.
people might already hear
definitely.
what you gotta say. I'm like, oh, okay, I already know that one.
I was like, I don't. That shit is fun and all, but then like if you're performing, like you should not be ciphering right before. That's gonna fuck up your breath control, your voice. Like,
Yeah. So you got to up the second round.
Yeah, yeah.
Which verse did you spit? Do you remember?
I did some verses that I spit over the summer. Like I did one over Scary Movies by Eminem, and I did my Era freestyle,
Nice.
the one over the Prime beat. I spit those two verses over some boom bap instrumentals. I really thought like for the second round, the thing that got me about the second round was that they said they were gonna choose regular tempo like boom bap beats. You know what I'm saying? But they changed it up last minute and that threw off a lot of rappers.
Mhm.
There were actually some rappers who were affiliated with Team Backpack who got dropped because the beats were like too fast or like too slow. So like, or some beats would take like fucking forever. Like the intro was like 40 seconds and there was no drums.
Oh wow.
You know what I'm saying? So like we were just watching this person on stage, like waiting for the beat to start. You know what I mean? But, like I feel like that part was just kind of messy. But then, you know, I was just lucky. Like I came out with, you know, regular or somewhat regular tempo beats.
Yeah. Damn. That in those cases, it's best to freestyle. But
Yeah.
it's just tough. That's just hard, man. Like that's tough, dude. So you didn't make it to round 3, but you made it to round 2, and then you said you were in good spirits. I saw your Instagram post and everything. Tell us about like the networking aspect of World Underground, because yeah, you got to rap in front of people, but I'm sure there's also a networking aspect.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you come just to compete in the tournament and you come out losing, but without any connections, you fucking lost.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't go there just to perform. Like, there's cats affiliated with Team Backpack in the building that you could be introducing yourself to so that they remember you in times to come. Like, I've gotten so many producer contacts, rapper contacts. Like, some of the judges fucked with my performance. Like, Jeff Turner, he's one of the Team Backpack rhymers. Like, oh my God. Like, I remember this moment. Like, after I performed on round 2, I was kind of bummed because I got dropped. But he comes up to me after I performed and he said, yo, your shit was dope and you need to come out next year. So I was just like, I got dropped, but just for that moment right there. Because, like, I grew up, well, I didn't grow up, but, like, I was recently put onto this dude's material, and this dude is a fucking beast, man. Like, he can fucking beatbox, sing, like, rap. He's a fucking triple threat, man. And I just fuck with his positive energy. So he's just, like, one of my idols that I look up to now. Like, as a, you know, like a big homie MC. And, like, it was just so fucking humbling, like, getting props, like, from somebody who's been in this game for a lot longer than you have.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the encouragement is crazy.
That's dope, man. So, that was tournament stuff. You recently put out a song called Damned. Talk to us about the concept and significance of that song.
Damned. I mean, Damned is the song I've been waiting to release for years. Since I first started rapping, I've always wanted to release this song.
Oh, it was already written already?
Oh, no. It wasn't conceptually.
Okay.
I mean, but like it wasn't called Damned like before, but then there were many versions of this song that I was just too afraid to release because it was such a personal part of my life.
Right.
It's such a huge aspect. What the song is about is I grew up going to church a lot because my father was a pastor. And a lot of the shit you see at church, it's surprising because you see a lot of snakes, a lot of fake people, you know, and you wouldn't expect that to come from a church, but like that's so much drama, so much fucking like business comes from church, and like growing up seeing that shit, I was just, you know, like my family was affected to so many degrees emotionally, physically, because of, you know, the torment we got from, you know, church members. You know, they're so quick to, the thing about Christians at most Korean churches that I've been to is that if you're not a model Christian, like if you don't read the Bible every single day, if you don't fucking, you know, if you sag your pants, if you're a rapper, if you like hip hop music, like you're affiliated with the devil.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So like they take this shit so fucking seriously, and it's like, you know, it makes no sense when it comes to their philosophy because, you know, people go to church not because they're good. You know what I'm saying? People go because they're flawed and they're looking for help through, you know, a higher being. You know what I'm saying? So like, why does it make sense to you that everybody at church has to be perfect?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that didn't make sense to me. So Damned was the response that I've been waiting to release to all the snakes I've encountered at church, all the people with that ideology that if you go to church, you need to be like a Christian.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know, I read in Asian American Studies, the reason is like with Korean churches, like the reason many Koreans go to churches is it's a social function. It's not in a bad way.
No, I know exactly what you mean.
It's a way to like, it's like, you know, you came from Korea, don't know English, you go to a Korean church, you get hooked up. Hooked up with businesses, schools, all. It's like a network. It's a place to be. It just so happens to be like considered holy ground. Whereas and then like one professor said that she attends Christian church. She goes, that's why many go to church for those reasons, for benefits, for social benefits and like social mobility. But she goes, yet I wonder how many of them are really Christians. Because like you go for all the reasons but to worship and all that.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like so fucked up that happens at church.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
it could be done at like a different kind of meeting, but I find that interesting. Yeah, that it's crazy. But I'm glad you're able to point that out and talk about it because it does seem like it's very very personal, and it's really hard for songs that are personal to like for you to like put it out there. You know?
I mean, I've been waiting years to put this shit out just
years?
because I was afraid. I mean, I've been dealing with this shit my entire life, so like as soon as I started rapping, like I wrote a lot of raps, you know, about church and like the shit that went down in my life, but I've never released any.
Why now? What made you decide, hey, fuck it, I'm gonna release it?
Well, when I first started rapping, I was still going to church heavy. You know what I'm saying? But it was under the scope of like, you know, I grew up as the pastor's son. You know what I'm saying? So like, they take that Christian model thing to another fucking level when you affiliated with the pastor. You know what I'm saying? So you're always under that microscope. So growing up in church, I was always judged. You know what I'm saying? So like, I could never do anything I wanted comfortably online or like even outside of church. You know what I'm saying? Like without church members scrutinizing me or me hearing about that shit next week. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I was always under that fucking scope of judgment, so like, I was too afraid to put anything out. You know what I'm saying? Until I grew into myself, I realized who I was. You know, I know what my purpose is, I know what my demons are, who's affected me in this and that way in my life. So when I came to that point, I just decided, you know, fuck it. You know,
I like
fuck
that.
what everybody
I like
says.
that.
I'ma just put it out, you know, because this is my fucking life. This is my trauma. I'ma do it for myself.
Right. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine that. That's tough to be in like a close knit church community where like people are not spying you, but they, like you said, they have you
Shit,
under a
it felt like
microscope.
spying. Yeah.
Under a microscope, you do one thing, you do another thing. That's tough. So I commend you for being able to get past that and just, growing into who you are. Because I can't imagine how difficult that is.
It's brutal, bro.
Yeah. So you were on the podcast roughly a year ago. What's changed since then? Maybe personal life, music, goals?
Since last year's podcast, I believe, maybe just confidence. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have a better direction of where I'm gonna go and how I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Last year is really when I first decided to do rap, so I had to transform myself. And from that point on, it was just more of getting the shit I want done.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm on that path right now, and I know, I'm not know exactly, but no, I'm starting to learn, I'm putting the pieces down in front of me as, the path goes on, you feel me?
That's good. What are some factors that keep you motivated making music?
Factors that keep me motivated, I mean, I really feel like I can't do anything else.
I
You know
like
what I'm
that.
saying? Cause like hip hop is like to my deepest core. Like when I listen to hip hop music, like real hip hop music, like when I listen to flows or certain bars or certain rhyme schemes, like I have to replay that shit over and over, and like that feeling, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't replace that. And like being able to create your own craft and like fuck with your own shit, like there's no feeling that I can describe that feels like that.
I get you.
You know what I'm saying?
Same with me, man. I think I subconsciously sabotaged myself from like ever getting another job, any other job. Like I've never been on the intern shit other than the tattoo shop is the only fucking internship I ever got.
Yeah.
I've never been on like some office internship.
Right.
When people say, oh, like, yeah, I want to do office job, I was like, I don't know if I could do that. Like, I would always question myself, and honestly, man, like, I'm 30, and for the longest time, I was like, in my mid-20s, I was like, man, should I even pursue this rap thing? Like, I guess I'm good, but like, will it make money? Will it, you have these like societal expectations.
Right.
It's like, will it be good? Will it be that? But then, with what internet and technology is doing, how it's affecting hip hop, dude, you can do it.
That's what I'm saying.
Before, I didn't know anybody in the studio. That was so inaccessible. Now, I know where to go.
Exactly.
Like beats, you could lease them online. But like, back to it, man, I realized, wait, what am I actually good at? I'm fucking rapping. I'm actually decent at it. And it's like, dude, I'm a
Freestyle king.
I'm a freestyle the minute. But I just figured, like, dude, I've been doing this. This is all I've ever wanted to do. And if I have like a part-time job while I'm doing this, I'm fucking cool.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
you love this shit.
Yeah, I love this shit, dude. Like, I wake up doing this shit, podcasting as well. That's part of it. But honestly, like, just making music, rapping, like, damn, I remember when I was so young, I was in NorCal. I can't wait till I turn 18 and fucking move to LA. Move to LA because the family here, doing music and shit, like, I totally agree. You said that, like, just listen to music, like, just hip hop, like, there's something about it. And also for you to replicate that without, like, sounding corny or anything.
Right.
It's dope. There is something about that and contributing to it and people listening to your music and shit. Okay. What upcoming releases, projects, or collaborations can you announce right now?
Can I announce? I got some collabs. I'm not too sure if I can say who exactly
Then don't. I don't want you to get...
I got a couple of those coming out.
Okay.
Some freestyles in the works, and I'm working on a new single right now too. Still working on the name. I'm working on some rough drafts, but this shit is gonna be hot also.
Nice.
Shout out to my homie Hayes Felix who's on the beat. That shit is gonna be crazy.
Nice, man. Any shout outs before we go?
Shit. Shout out to my girlfriend. You've been my undying support, and I thank you for your loyalty. Shout out to all the homies out there, all of my World Underground homies, all my fans who keep me going in this shit. I really appreciate y'all.
Where can we find you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, SoundCloud, but I'm mostly on Instagram at METAPHAURUS. Please don't say Metamorphosis. Please.
I was gonna ask you too, like, please spell that out, cause you're gonna say Metaphaurus, I'm gonna spell that out.
I have to now. Like every time I say my name, it's a fucking must, man. Otherwise, people are gonna say Metamorphosis.
Yeah, I feel you, man. Like Von Eisen, Von Eisen. I'm like,
Von-
oh my God, Von Asian. Oh my God.
We never gonna hear the end of it, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I might change my name. I don't know. But all right, thank you, man. Appreciate it, bro.
Of course.
Thank you, dude. All right, Voncast show.